Hello and welcome to this edition of FYI Weekly, your official source for City of Greensboro news and information. Toyota announced a new investment of nearly $8 billion, which will add approximately 3,000 jobs at Toyota Battery Manufacturing, North Carolina. This brings the total investment in this region to approximately $14 billion, increasing job creation to more than 5,000, further supporting Toyota's multi-pathway approach to global vehicle electrification. This investment adds capacity to support battery electric vehicles and plug-in hybrid electric vehicles. 8 production lines will be added to the 2 previously announced for a total of 10 battery lines. Production will be increased in a phased approach with line launches planned through 2030 to reach a total production of more than 30 gigawatts per hour annually. Sean Suggs, president of Toyota North Carolina, said this investment reinforces Toyota's commitment to electrification and carbon reduction, bringing jobs and future economic growth to the region. In 2021, Toyota announced the new Liberty location with an initial investment of more than $1 billion for battery production and the creation of 1,750 new jobs. With this announcement, Toyota North Carolina solidifies its position as the company's epicenter of lithium-ion battery production in North America. Overall, the campus will boast 7 million square feet of battery production, which equates to 121 football fields. The City of Greensboro was awarded $11 million in state funding to conduct remediation at both Bingham Park and various downtown Greensboro sites. The 12-acre Bingham Park is adjacent to the East Side Park, Willow Oaks, and Cottage Grove communities. This residential area served as a disposal site for incinerated waste until 1956 before being converted to parkland. In the late 2000s, the city began planning efforts in conjunction with the community to redesign and improve the park. Among other things, a portion of this funding will support full waste removal and rebuilding stream banks. The site is categorized as a pre-regulatory landfill since it was in operation prior to 1983, when landfill standards were established to protect health and the environment. Pre-regulatory landfills accepted types of waste not allowed in modern landfills. This funding will also be used to address multiple downtown Greensboro sites in varying stages of environmental mediation. The city will continue its focus to decrease the number of vacant sites to improve economic vitality and opportunity for residents and visitors. This further elevates downtown Greensboro as a regional economic driver. These projects support City Council priorities, easiest place to do business, and hub of recreation and entertainment. The Housing and Neighborhood Development Department is participating in an interactive online map project. This is designed to pinpoint long-term challenges and opportunities in affordable home ownership, healthcare, and education. Accessing the maps will enable users to compare different metrics from broadband access and healthcare outcomes to housing costs, drilling down to the level of a census tract, all tailored to Greensboro's specific needs. The city contracted with Winston-Salem State University's Center for the Study of Economic Mobility to produce the maps. City staff will schedule sessions for the community through Equitable Development Data Insight Training in cooperation with the University of California at Berkeley and the Robert Wood Johnson Foundation. According to Craig Richardson, the center's director, these maps help assist with potential policy solutions for Greensboro and its communities that hone in on housing affordability. A key component to this project is an opportunity index that includes 4 components: prosperity, housing, education, and health indices for each neighborhood. Users can click on one of those topics, hover over different areas of the city to see specific stats, and then compare data with other areas of the city. To learn more and to read the center's report, visit the city's website. Cone Health has partnered with the city to share a series of brief and informative videos designed to inspire you to make better choices when it comes to healthy living. Following these tips is an easy way to help each of us improve our quality of life. Let's take a moment to check out today's News for Your Health.
Did you know that about 95% of people will develop back pain at some point in their life? I think there are some simple things you can do to help prevent the onset of back pain or reduce back pain that you may have. So let's talk about some of those ways. So I think one of the most important ways to avoid hurting your back is to avoid unnecessary bending, lifting, or twisting. We call it BLT because it's easy to remember. Bending, lifting, and twisting. Those are the things we want to try to avoid to try to help our back and try not to hurt our back. So we're going to show some of those things now. We're going to show the proper way to bend to pick up an umbrella off of the ground. So I think that's one way. I think there's two even better ways, and we're going to show that now. She's going to go down on one knee to pick it up. Right. What we really want to avoid is bending at the waist or the back to pick it up, and we really want to bend at the knees. I think that's important. The last way we can show to pick up things is called the golfer's bend, where we're leaning forward with a leg back and lift like that. And I think that's also easier on the back because it keeps the back straight. Again, we want to avoid bending at the hips and the back, but bend down instead. So one of the more difficult things you'll do around your house is bend over to pick up bigger objects that are somewhat more awkward. And we're going to show how to pick up a box now and try to do that without hurting our back. You see she gets down on one knee, she lifts the box, and she holds it close to her body. That's really important because if you hold it far from your body, it makes your back want to bend. It puts a fulcrum on your back. So it's important when you pick it up to then carry it close to your body. Now we're going to talk about twisting. And one of the things we twist to do is to grab objects such as tissue. So we're going to show how to correctly turn to grab a tissue. If you notice, she turned her whole body to grab the tissue and then her whole body back. And this is the wrong way to grab the tissue out of my hands. You notice she twisted her body that time. That puts undue forces on your low back and can cause back pain. I think there are several lifestyle changes people can make to improve their back health and either improve their back pain or prevent back pain. I think two of the most important are using good posture and using good body mechanics. So standing straight, sitting straight, lengthening the spine, and then using good body mechanics when lifting, bending, and avoidance of twisting maneuvers. Also, I think that for those who are overweight, losing weight down to an ideal body mass index can be very important. And I think reducing stress can also be important because it seems that any medical condition we have, stress seems to make it worse. So I think exercise is also extremely important, and I think exercises to improve core strength and improve flexibility, such as yoga and Pilates, are very important in prevention of back pain and improving chronic back pain. And lastly, I think quitting smoking can be very important in reducing back pain in those with chronic back issues. Smoking has been linked to degenerative disorders of the spine. Thanks for joining me today. Don't let a few wrong moves with your back stop your active lifestyle. To learn more, go to conehealth.com/backpain. This is Dr. David Jones.
The city of Greensboro can make the railways safer thanks to a federal grant. And don't let your pumpkins go to waste now that Halloween has come and gone. We'll have those stories and more news coming up after the break. Stay with us. Welcome back to FYI Weekly. The Greensboro Police Department was awarded a $96,000 grant by the U.S. Department of Transportation. This money will support GPD's Railroad Safety Patrol program. Established in 2016, officers assigned to this program conduct directed patrols using all-terrain vehicles, or ATVs, at identified hotspots along railways throughout Greensboro. The goal is to help reduce trespassing incidents and ultimately reduce the number of injuries and fatalities. The grant will be used to pay officers overtime, allowing the program to continue. ATVs allow officers to move through these difficult-to-reach hotspots quickly and efficiently, since many of the known trespass areas are not easily accessible by the standard police sedan or sport utility vehicles. The focus of these patrols is on educating the public on the dangers of rail crossings, collecting data on trespassers for research purposes, as well as enforcing trespass laws. This grant supports the City Council's Safest City priority. Greensboro Transportation Director Hannah Cockburn will be the featured speaker at the November 16th meeting for the Ad Hoc Committee on African American Disparity. The public is welcome to attend the meeting at 6 p.m. on Zoom. The presentation will cover transportation issues, including the impact of highways constructed in Black communities and how residents can advocate change. Cockburn has practiced public sector planning in North Carolina for more than 2 decades, serving in state, regional, county, and local roles. She joined the City of Greensboro as the Director of Transportation in 2020, overseeing transportation planning, design, traffic operations, parking, and traffic safety programming. Cockburn served as the city's long-range and strategic planning manager for 5 years before a 2-year stint with the North Carolina Department of Transportation. This is the second and final meeting dedicated to environmental justice issues. Last month's topic shed light on the challenges of sustainability in the Black community. The Ad Hoc Committee on African American Disparity seeks to address barriers that prevent the success of Greensboro's African American residents. To learn more about the commission, contact Liz Lennon in the Human Rights Department at 336-373-2038. Each year, more than 1 billion pounds of pumpkins end up in a landfill. These same pumpkins create greenhouse gases, take up valuable landfill space, and their nutrients will never be returned to the soil. You can do your part to help reduce pumpkin waste by dropping off your pumpkin to be upcycled into compost or used as a food source for the animals at the North Carolina A&T State University farm. Make plans to attend the Stop, Drop, and Rot event on Saturday, November 18th from 1 p.m. to 3 p.m. at Keeley Park. Simply drop off your pumpkins for composting or stay to join a Composting 101 mini session. Learn how rot is the new recycle. Mini sessions will be held every 30 minutes from 1:15 p.m. to 2:45 p.m. Attendees will be eligible to win a free backyard composting bin. The Greensboro History Museum has another award-winning exhibit on display. Coming up after the break, learn about the exhibit directly from the museum's curator. Stay with us. Welcome back to FYI Weekly. If you haven't taken time to visit the North Carolina Democracy 11 Elections exhibit at the Greensboro History Museum, now there are 3 really good reasons to do so. Joining me now to tell us about the exhibit and 3 national awards is Robert Harris. He is the curator of exhibitions at the Greensboro History Museum. Hello, Robert. Welcome to the show.
Thank you so much.
Well, I appreciate you joining me. So tell us about these awards, and these are being presented to the Greensboro History Museum for the specific work that you've done on the exhibition about democracy. Who's presenting the award?
So these come from the Southeastern Museum Conference, and these were awards specifically for video work and technology. And the 3 awards we won, one, when you first walk into the exhibit, you're met with a wall with video. And the main movie, we won a gold award for video production for that. The entire wall, we won a technology award for the coordination of all that. And that movie sets up the exhibit. It talks about the history of democracy, but it also talks about 3 items we highlight throughout the exhibit, which are values, documents, and actions, 3 things that we say make up democracy. And so that takes us through, we start with the words demos and kratia, which means the people rule, and talk about how we started to form we call them gears of democracy, but all the things that go into a government. From what are the people's values behind it, what are the documents that get created, in our case, the Constitution, et cetera. So that video sets all of that up and introduces us to the 11 elections that we highlight in the exhibit, starting with 1776 and working up. We end at 2010 because we didn't want to go past that, because being a history museum, we do like a bit of retrospective with it. So
okay.
Yeah, and then there's a third video that's actually not exactly part of that, but is associated with it, which is a video called Gerrymander Madness, which won the Silver Award. That one, we have a corresponding exhibit, Connection Point, that's more of a hands-on interactive exhibit, and we usually tie that together with whatever is our temporary exhibit up in that space. And gerrymandering has been, in North Carolina, it's long been an issue, a long history. We're considered one of the most gerrymandered states. We stress that it's not a Republican issue or Democrat issue. Both parties have caused this. Both parties keep it going and have opportunities to end it, but have it. And so we talk about the history of that and possible solutions to it.
Okay.
So that was one of the videos that also won an award.
So you've kind of given us an overview of what the videos entail, but you get so many different ages coming through the museum. Are the videos designed for all ages?
Well, yes, but I will say for younger kids, we usually, a lot of times they go through in school groups, and our education department is really good about taking that down to whatever age level. North Carolina democracy is a pretty dense exhibit. There's a lot of history on those walls, and so it would, say you had a 6-year-old going through without a guidance and additional information, it would probably be a bit difficult.
Okay. Now, this is taking this historically from the past up to 2010, but how can those of us going to the exhibition appreciate the information in what we're currently seeing now with democracy?
One thing that I think we all fall into is that we think history moves on this line that ever increases, going towards justice and equality and all that. And that's not really true. History moves up and down, more like wavelengths than a continuing line. And I think looking at these 11 elections across our history, and it is an exhibit about the history of elections, not the history of the state, but obviously tied together. And I think seeing that, oh, there were these problems in this decade that we're seeing in a lot of ways again today, that it's not necessarily the first time something has happened or the first time something extreme has happened. How was it dealt with? What choices did we make, and how did we move on from there? And how can that help us make choices today?
So truth to history can repeat itself.
It absolutely can.
Now, for people who are interested in seeing North Carolina democracy 11 elections, how long is the exhibit open for? How can they experience this?
Well, the exhibit will be open at least until through the next presidential elections, so through the end of next year. It might go a little longer. We're not 100% sure, but absolutely come to the museum. If you're highly interested, you can't do it in one take. There's a lot there. I'd at least plan on two visits. We're free, which is also a great
good
thing.
Incentive.
Absolutely, absolutely, we're free. But the other way people can experience it is to go to our website, greensborohistory.org, and we have a complete three-dimensional walkthrough that you can go in and go through every part of the exhibit. We use a lot of video within the exhibit. Beyond that first group of screens, we have what we refer to as expert takes. And we got together with a number of historians, political scientists, et cetera, throughout the state as we were developing the exhibit, and interviewed a number of them. And they for each election, we have someone that talks about, in short segments, something about that election. And you can click on those and see those videos as you walk through virtually online.
Oh, fantastic. Well, Robert, congratulations again on these awards, another award-winning exhibit for the museum. And thank you for taking us behind the scenes of this exhibition. We want you to come back and give us updates on your next curation of display and what we're going to be learning for your other exhibits.
Oh, absolutely. We'd love to. And thank you so much for having us.
Absolutely. Stay tuned for some interesting and useful information about Greensboro as we tell you something about the city. That's coming up after the break. Stay with us. Welcome back to FYI Weekly. One way to stay informed about decisions that impact you and our city is by attending or tuning in to City Council meetings at 5:30 p.m. on the first and third Tuesday of the month. The fourth Tuesday is reserved for a meeting as needed. The City Council has resumed meeting in the Katie Dorsett Council Chamber on Level 2 of the Melvin Municipal Office Building located at 300 West Washington Street. The public is allowed in person, but only in a limited capacity. Those who choose not to be in the building can participate virtually. The Greensboro City Council meetings are broadcast right here on GTN. The meetings are also streamed live on the city's website and on Roku. To review the council meeting schedule and agendas, please visit the city's website. Here's an opportunity to learn a little something about the city. Creative Greensboro is accepting applications for the 2024 Downtown Arts Program, which showcases local visual artists at locations around downtown Greensboro. Selected artists will be paid and one will be chosen to create an original work. The deadline to apply is on Tuesday, December 5th. 10 artists will be chosen for the Art on Downtown Kiosk program, each receiving a $500 honorarium and up to 10 weeks of display time on the 11 digital kiosks located throughout downtown. The artists are also featured on Creative Greensboro's website and social media channels. One artist will be selected to create an original work for the Art and City Hall Special Commission. This artist will receive $3,000 to create an original piece that will become part of the city's permanent collection. The commissioned work will also be reproduced onto vinyl, framed, and installed in a prominent location at Greensboro City Hall. A selection committee will review all eligible submissions to choose the 10 artists. Selected works and the commissioned piece will be displayed through early next year. To apply for Downtown Arts, visit the city's website or contact Karen Archia at 336-433-7362. Coming up after the break, we'll showcase our department spotlight, but first, prepare to mark your calendars for all the great events and places to go on the town.
I'm Dave, and here are some of the special events happening this weekend on the town. The city's NCAA Division I men's basketball bragging rights are on the line November 10th when the UNC Greensboro Spartans host the North Carolina A&T State University Aggies at 7 p.m. in the Greensboro Coliseum. Both teams feature many local players looking to help their teams to an early season win. Tickets cost $20 and are available at the box office or online at greensborocoliseum.com. Greensboro honors local Gold Star families representing the U.S. Armed Forces November 11th with the 7th Annual Veterans Day Parade in downtown Greensboro. The parade features marching bands, JROTC units, plus military vehicles and floats honoring our nation's veterans. Learn more online at gcdav20.com. Families are invited to celebrate Diwali, one of India's most important holidays, November 11th at the Kathleen Clay Edwards Branch Library. This free event features stories, snacks, and activities dealing with light in the celebration of the Hindu Festival of Lights. Learn more at the library's website, greensborolibrary.org. The Greensboro Symphony Orchestra blends aerialists, acrobats, and show tunes in its November 11th performance of Cirque Goes Broadway at the Tanger Center. This dazzling spectacle features songs from Wicked, Chicago, Cats, and more. Tickets start at $35 and may be bought at the box office or online at tangercenter.com. Enjoy the unique sounds of the Gypsy Kings November 12th at the Tanger Center. The two-time Grammy Award-winning band blends traditional flamenco styles with Western pop and Latin rhythms. Tickets start at $48 and are available at the box office or online at tangercenter.com. Stay tuned to FYI Weekly for more happenings on the town.
Welcome back. The City of Greensboro has more than 20 departments and several divisions committed to serving you, our residents, and visitors. Let's go behind the scenes in our department spotlight. The city's Transgender Task Force will host the Transgender Day of Remembrance Vigil. The memorial is scheduled to take place on Monday, November 20th from 6 p.m. to 7 p.m. in front of the Melvin Municipal Office Building located downtown. The remembrance commemorates all transgender people who lost their lives to violence. This day was established back in 1999 by advocate Gwendolyn Ann Smith to honor the memory of Rita Hester, a transgender woman killed in 1998. This visual will lift up the lives of those lost in Greensboro due to anti-transgender bigotry and violence. This is also an opportunity to raise awareness of the importance of continuing to fight for justice. The mission of the Transgender Task Force is to provide public education on transgender issues and to improve the quality of life for the city's transgender residents. To learn more about the task force, visit the city's website. For more information about the Day of Remembrance, visit GLAAD's website. The Melvin Municipal Office Building is located at 300 West Washington Street. Coming up after the break is our Way to Go GSO shout out. Stay with us. As we draw to a close, we always want to end on a positive note with our Way to Go GSO shout out. This week's shout out goes to the City of Greensboro and Guilford County. The two government entities joined forces to host a series of booths with fun games, live music, food, and silent auctions to kick off United Way's annual fundraising campaign. Last year, both the city and county employees raised more than $200,000 to help United Way reach its goal of ending generational poverty. Way to go, City of Greensboro and Guilford County. That concludes this edition of FYI Weekly, but you can easily stay connected to the latest city news by linking to us on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and Instagram. Alexa users can subscribe to our 5-minute flash briefings, which airs on 90.1 FM and 100.7 FM. Be sure to download both weekly podcasts, Talk City Greensboro and Connect GSO, plus GTN is streaming on Roku. For all of us here at the City of Greensboro, thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.